Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the Chinese Tier 7 Premium Light Tank, the Type 62. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the Type 62, it is the tank that you can get in the Season Pass at level 125, which means as soon as you buy something like the Ultimate Pass, you just straight up have this tank unlocked. Now, this tank does have a Halloween version of it, and that is the Dragon. So if you own the Dragon Type 62, you'll know exactly what you're getting from this tank. And generally, it's a tank that I'm not the biggest fan of. Occasionally I'll get on with it, and occasionally I don't. But that doesn't mean it's a bad tank, it's just not my kind of light tank. It's more of a pseudo-medium than a light tank, because it's not the fastest in the universe, but it's got a pretty hard-hitting gun for a Tier 7 light tank. You've got pretty decent DPM, and while you don't ever want to rely on the armor, you do have a rounded turret, which can occasionally ricochet you shots, and you sit there going, ha, okay, I'll take it, right? And it can be quite nice for the Type 62. Let's say on the whole, for a Tier 7 light tank, it's alright. It's an alright tank. It's not exceptional, but it's also not bad. You'd call it probably pretty balanced, if we're honest, right? But yeah, the Type 62. In terms of its stats, it's got a 60 km/h top speed with a 23 km/h reverse speed. It's 20.48 horsepower per ton ratio, meaning it's not the fastest light tank in the universe in terms of its top speed, but it will get to its top speed. Its reverse speed is quite nice though, at 23 km/h. Ground resistances don't hold it back whatsoever. 54 degrees a second on the track traverse means this tank turns very, very quickly. With a 52.13 degree a second turret rotation speed, it means this tank's turret also turns very, very quickly, but slower than the track, so be careful of that. You've got 266 meters of still concealment, which means you are fairly stealthy as a light tank, which is definitely quite nice for the Type 62. With 499 meters of view range, which means you can spot for yourself very, very effectively in this Tier 7 light tank, especially since some of the other Tier 7 light tanks have a bit lower in terms of the view range. So that is very, very nice for the old Type 62. You've got 1.18 accuracy during rotation, with 2.22 accuracy during movement with the build that I run as well, which isn't that great. It means the aim circle does bloom out a lot, and you've got 2.12 second aim time, meaning you do have to spend a little bit of time aiming in when you come to a complete stop. But RNG is a thing, and sometimes it does hit those shots on the moves, and sometimes it does shots like that, where it just goes straight over, and you sit there going, oh, really? 0.3 accuracy at 100 meters as well is not too bad either for a light tank, so we'll take it. 5 degrees of gun depression, though, is very limiting. It's very Soviet-esque, as is the case with a lot of the Chinese vehicles, so it can be a bit limited in that regard on ridge lines, so be careful of that. With a 4.01 second reload, which is 2.7k DPM, which is actually really not that bad at all for a Tier 7 light tank, so we'll take that as well. With 145 pen on the standard AP, which is nice, with 220 pen on the premium heat rounds, which again is pretty nice. It pens most things it'll face, which is good. You've got 180 damage on those standard and premium rounds as well, which is very nice for the Type 62. That's quite high for saying a lot of the light tanks have got a lot lower, so 180 is pretty good. With 793 meters a second shell velocity on the standard velocity and the premium velocity, which, yeah, is slow, and it means that you do have to give a lot of lead to make the best out of the accuracy on this tank and be able to hit tanks at decent distances, and it also adds the derpiness feeling of the gun. So as you've seen with that first game, we finished with the Ace Tanker, the Pascucci's, the Sniper, the 1798 base XP, a really nice game there for 2.5k damage in a Tier 8 game on Airfield, which I was quite surprised to get the Ace in that regard, but I think it's because I did quite a lot of damage to Tier 8s and also got some kills on Tier 8s, and which helps boost your base XP in that regard. So, in terms of a crew and equipment, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, with the Advanced Loader, the Camo Net, and Optics. Optics to be able to spot for myself with the 499 meters of view range, the Camo Net to get the camo down to that very good 266 meters of still concealment, and the Advanced Loaders to have that very nice DPM at 2.7. All 3 gun perks to help the gun out as much as possible, especially since I'm not running the gun stabilizer, so it's nice to have the accuracy during movement and rotation drop as low as possible with those crew skills. And I'll say it is pretty poor if you don't help it with the gun stabilizer, but generally there's just other little bits and bobs that are nice to help out on this tank. And then the camouflage, again, to make the better still concealment. And the muffled shot to reduce the effect of firing on the camo by 33% as well. Now, with the Type 62, there's multiple things you could do. You know, you could sacrifice the DPM if you wanted to, although I do think that is one of the key strengths of the vehicle, as there's not too much else going for it in terms of... Well, actually, you've got very good view range, you've got very good camo, which is nice. And the DPM is just one of the key strengths, is what I feel like, of this tank, and it's nice to have. But you could sacrifice that DPM by dropping the rammer and running the traction system instead, and you'll go at 66 kilometers an hour, which solves the problem of being that slower tank at 60, right? But it's down to you and how you want to play the vehicle generally and how you feel comfortable playing it. So as you can see, this second replay, we are on Corellia, and we're just trying to get some shots into this IS-2, which we managed to shut down. There were some shots straight through his lower plate. But we're currently pinned down by this light tank, who is currently proxy spotting us, which is making it very, very awkward. 25 TP gets spotted in the middle, so we snap a shot into that guy, as it's nice to get rid of the tank that was in the middle. He was clearly the one that was shooting at us as well earlier on. So it's good just to get rid of that guy, so we're safe from that area. And if I decide to go in after the light tank, that's always a great thing too. So we're just keeping the lead going on this 25 TP. You can see the lead you have to give to hit shots at that sort of distance. You've got to lead quite away in front of the target to be able to hit the shots, and yeah, we got rid of him. So I'm just poking out to see if I can spot anything else. Pinging the hill, because I feel like there's still something on the hill that could be shooting at us, which makes this awkward. I really do want to go in on this light tank, so we're going to chance the shot, but we end up doing track damage only. You saw the moment that we actually pulled back there, we had 2 or 3 shots fly at us from their base, and that made me go, oh boy, yeah, no, I can't really go after this guy yet, because it's just going to be awkward. I'm going to take the hits, but our P43 just YOLOs the Type 62, so it's like, okay, you know what? We'll use that distraction to get rid of that pesky Type 62, and thankfully, we end up taking no hits in the end, and we spot all the guys that were currently camping in their base, and that's where all the shots are coming from. So we spot the T-34, we're going to start putting shots in down range to that T-34, because if we can get rid of that guy, that's great, because since they're in the middle, there's a chance that they could start spotting me as I try and move up to spot the rest of their team, who seem to all be sort of camping in their base or on the other flank. So this is where the very nice camo comes into play when we're shooting at someone like this 25 TP, because naturally 25 TP doesn't have the best view range in the universe, and because there's so much concealment between the two of us, he also just cannot see us. And then it's the same thing with this Churchill 7. We're spotting the TD that's firing in the back as well, but these guys can't see us because our concealment at 266 is very, very good, and we're reducing the effect of firing on our camo as well with muffled shot, meaning it's very difficult for these tier 6s to be able to see us. Because when you're shooting at things like tier 6s and 7s, or tier 6s and tier 5s especially, they don't have the best view range in the universe. Since you've got good view range, you'll spot them at a very good distance, and because you've got good camo, they will also struggle to spot you because they don't have the best view range in the universe. So we ended up seeing the T-34-85, and we're trying to get some shots into his back end. You could see when I had a shot at him, instead of just firing straight away, I pulled back so there was a bush between me and him, and that way he really couldn't see me. We've closed the distance though, so he finally actually does end up spotting us as we fire at him, and he ends up getting shut down. Meaning there's only 5 tanks left on the enemy team. There is 3.2k damage, 2.3k assistance so far, and it was like, oh, hang on a minute, where did this challenger come from? What, has he been here the entire time? Okay, he completely caught me off guard. I did not expect that challenger to be there. Thought I would have spotted him earlier on, or he would have poked out earlier on to try and get shots into us. But we do manage to get a couple of shots into him, and he gets shut down. But we're still being detected, and it's like, what is looking at me? Okay, if I pull back behind this rock, I'm not looked at anymore. But if I pull back a little bit too much, I am. Where are these guys? So I'm thinking maybe... I know there was a guy spotted at K2, K3. So I'm thinking maybe he's still there behind the rocks. So instead, we're going to go up on top of the mound at K1 so that we can look down the K line. And if we get spotted, we can pull back behind the ridge line and stay safe. And again, using our good view range to spot the enemy team. But there we go. There's a tank destroyer in the middle, and he was the one that was looking at us. In fact, I'm pretty sure the tank destroyer was one that was spotted on this line as well. It is. Oh no, it wasn't the spot on this line. Can't be, because the Slayer's way too slow for that. It was definitely the heavy tank that was spotted over here, the T1 Heavy. But the Slayer gets shut down by the Tiger P, and there's only one tank left. It's the T1 Heavy. We've had a very, very nice game in this tank, we've got some good spotting assist, we've got some good damage, and we're just trying to look for the shots into the rear of the T1. So I come up here on top of this little mound so that I can find the shot cheekily into the back of the T1 Heavy, and he gets shut down by the Tiger P. And finish the game with the victory. Top of the team, 3 kills, 4,057 damage, 2.5k assistance, that's 6.5k combined, with the Ace Tanker, the High Caliber, the Confederate Medal for 2.3, nearly 2.4k base XP. A very nice game there for the Type 62 on Corellia. Showing off what it can do with its mobility, with its good camo, and its DPM in general. You've seen what it's like against tier 8s as well in the first game. And we're on to the final replay. And this one we are on, again, a very nice map for a light tank like the Type 62. Big open spaces where we can use our camo, use our mobility, and just keep the rounds slapping down range. We're on this map, which is El Alamein. So on El Alamein, what I want to do is try and get to the position at G5 so that I can spot the people crossing the J line and get some early shots in along those guys that cross, because quite often there'll be slower tanks that decide to try and make that cross, and if you get good view range out straight away, you can farm them without them actually spotting you a lot of the time, which can be very, very nice in any sort of tank, realistically. So if you've got a tank with decent speed, decent camo, and decent view range, this is a good place to go. So we end up firing the M4A3E2, the Jumbo Sherman. So we're just going to try and get some shots into him. This is where the accuracy of the gun is actually being quite... It's playing ball right now. The shots are flying true. Again, that one looks like it probably really shouldn't have gone in. But now we've got the A43 spotted in front of us, and he's tracked, so we just put a shot in, high roll, and finish him off. Looking to see if we can find a shot into the Jumbo Sherman, but can't quite find him. We end up spotting the Type 62, so I decided to move forward into a position where I can start putting shots into him. Sadly, that was a poor shot. As he started to move there, we ended up not giving it enough lead. Get a shot into the side of the Type 62, though, that I thought was going to miss. And then we get shot in the back by a Tiger 131. I'm like, nope, not doing that. That Tiger 131 reloads nearly as quick as I do and has better alpha. So we're not going to fight that fight. We're up to 1,059 damage with the 85 assistance damage. And again, we're just trying to put shots in everywhere we humanly can do. So we put a shot into the upper plate of the Type 62. Another shot into the side of the other Type 62, which tracks him in place. But then, oh no, a duster. We do not want to get stuck in front of that guy. All of our hit points are going to vanish in the blink of an eye if we're not careful. And now we're on 70 hit points. And we're on 70 hit points in a dream. So I'm just looking to hopefully finish off the Type 62, which we do. We know we're not going to get shut down by the duster anymore because the duster's run away. Can we shut down the other Type 62? Yes, we can. Third kill of the game. We'll take 2 kills just like that. T21 in the middle, just got to be careful of that in case he decides to YOLO, because I'm now a one-shot for everything. And I don't want to die. I don't want to die right now, because we're having a pretty nice game. But the duster is currently chasing into my artillery. We want to try and save our piggies if we can, because while he is doing the Lord's work, we kind of want our piggies in case they can give us some assistance damage. We've also got friends back here who are trying to help defend them as well. Oh, he gets tracked. He gets tracked just as we fire the shot that we were leading, which means we end up missing, but he gets shut down by the Jagdpanther anyway. So we're up to nearly 2k damage with only 85 assistance, but 3 kills, and their team is currently leading. The VZ44-1 is driving out in the open, so I'm just waiting for him to drive into the best position for me to get shots into his side. Hugging as close to this rock as humanly possible, so it makes it very difficult for him to blind fire me. And I'm really hoping to just keep the shots flying into him, maybe track him. There we go, and now we can keep him perma-tracked. But instead, well, we end up putting a shot into him there, and the M42 Duster shuts him down. We're up to 3 kills with that 2.7k damage, 573 assistance damage. And I want to try and go and spot the tank destroyers, because there's got to be tank destroyers camping possibly up at K6, K5. But the T21's still there, and I didn't expect the T21 to still be there. And at this point, I'm like, oh, this is kind of awkward, because there's also TDs that I've spotted in a very awkward spot for me. This isn't good. The T21 could shut me down in one shot. The TDs could awkwardly get a shot at me, but the T21 gets distracted with the medium tank. So I take that opportunity of distraction to put the shot in, shut down that American Tier 6 light tank. Thankfully, the artillery misses us. Now is my time to go and spot these tank destroyers. We've got people shooting at them. We spotted the 88, but everyone's currently bouncing off him, so I'm just going to wait for the aim circle to aim in and try and get some shots into that cupola. With 145mm of penetration, I should go through the cupola of an 88, so we'll take every opportunity we can to shoot that. But with the slim shot we had there, we just weren't taking it. So what we're going to do is push into a better position to try and see those TDs. What I would like to do is get down to a position like H7, H8, and that way I can get under a ridgeline, spot the TDs, get assistance damage on them, and maybe find the piggies, because while that duster was doing the Lord's work, I want to do my own Lord's work and get my juicy, juicy bacon. And who doesn't love the bacon? So that's what we're going to go for. So we switched to HE rounds so that we can pump that into the SU-14-1, as we do have 43mm of penetration. It's not the best in the universe, so it does struggle with some artillery, but as you can see, it pumps your damage up to 300 alpha, which is very, very nice. That means that you can do some significant damage to the artillery, and we managed to shut down the Hummel with a shot there as well. We've got slim shots at this Sturmpanzer, and that looked like that should have hit the Sturmpanzer, but we hit the ridgeline that one as well, so we don't actually get the shots into those guys, which is always a sad time. 5 kills for 3.5k damage, 1500 assistance, and we're 5k combined so far, and I really want that top gun if I can. So the 88 is getting farmed, the Brumbayer's not on very many hit points at all, and at this point I'm going, yeah, I'm not going to reach that guy, right? Nah, he's dead. Only 2 tanks left on my team. It's 2 heavy tanks who are currently heading towards our base. So if we can get up behind them and start farming away, that'd be great. I also don't really want to get shut down at this point because we've had a very nice game. For saying we've been on 70 hit points for most of the game, we've managed to claw back what is a very nice game here for the old Type 62. So I want to try and get to the ridgeline at E45 so I can get on top of it and start getting some shots into the sides of these heavy tanks while they're distracted, because they're currently distracted with what is a tank destroyer shooting at them. It is a Tiger 131, so I shouldn't really struggle to pen that too much. And the other tank, well, we can't quite see it at this point in time, so yeah, we'll have to wait till we poke up and spot it. But also, if I poke up on top of this ridgeline, I can pull back and get safe. So that guy doesn't spot me through the bushes. And I decide, okay, I'm not shooting that Tiger 131 now, because he will spot me. And since he was looking my way, because there was no bush between us anymore, he would have spotted me and probably snapshot me and finished me off, and I just wanted to survive. So I finished the game with 5 kills, 3.7k damage, 1800 assistance, the ace tank at the high caliber, the Pascucci's, 2.2k base XP. Really nice game there for the Type 62, which again is a pretty nice light tank at tier 7. It's not really my cup of tea, but it is a very nice light tank at tier 7 with good view range and good camo and a pretty nice gun as well. It's just on the slower end. Like I say, it's more like a medium tank than a light tank in every regard, really. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success.